Recently on TMZ and also Sports Bible, the announcement of Floyd Mayweather is fighting Logan Paul, and me being a big boxing fan, me doing boxing myself, I've had a few fights as you well know. Being a Floyd Mayweather fan, I thought it would be a bit of a topic I like to talk about, because the moment I saw it and the moment that some people showed it to me, and I don't know whether it's completely true or completely accurate they're going to be fighting, but it appears from all the reading I've done that they've signed the contract. My first initial opinion on it was fucking great. I'm here to share my sort of opinion on it and why I believe it's a good thing. Now I've heard people say Floyd is going to ruin his own profile because of it. He must be skint, he must be bored, he's selling himself out. And I want to flip it back round. Let's take a footballer, a soccer star, okay? Let's look at some of the biggest footballers in the world. What typically happens? They play for a good club. Let's say they play for Chelsea, Liverpool, Man United, one of the top teams, and they win all the trophies. FA Cup, they win the league, they win the Champions League, they win all kinds of different trophies. And then they get a little bit older, let's say past their 30s, and this is the point where they start considering the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years of their career and what they're going to be doing. Life after football, etc. I recently had a top guest on my podcast, Liam Ridgewell, and we were talking about this very, very topic. And it's very, very unusual in most careers that you actually, when you taper off, you actually start making even more money, because some of these footballers have the privilege of going over to America, like Liam did, going to China, going to the UAE, going to Russia and earning far much more money. I remember saying on my podcast to Liam that I remember when Etu went over to Russia, and I can't remember the figure, and please don't pin me down on it because I don't have all my facts in front of me, but I remember that he was treated like royalty over there, and more importantly, he was getting something ridiculous a week. Let's call it 300, 400 grand a week to play football at the back end of his career. My question to you is, if you were a footballer and you had the opportunity to vastly increase your profile, maybe in a different part of the world, vastly increase your presence with a different demographic and get new supporters, but more importantly, incur massive amount of money, finances towards the backing of your profession, what would you do? Now for me, as a business person, purely talking about business, I would take the money. Obviously, I'm doing what I love, I'm traveling, I'm experiencing different cultures, and I'm making more money. Why wouldn't you do that? It doesn't make any sense. So then to say to someone like a Floyd Mayweather that he shouldn't be fighting these other people. He got ridiculed slightly for fighting Conor McGregor. He got ridiculed for doing the exhibition bout with the chap who I don't even want to try and pronounce his name, over in Japan a few years ago. I think it was over Christmas, New Year's. And now there's been some hatred comments made about him fighting Logan Paul. Listen, is Logan Paul anywhere near his caliber? Is he even a real boxer? Has he even got the credentials to fight someone like that? And the honest answer, my honest answer, would be no. But it lends itself to good entertainment. And for me, I do believe Floyd Mayweather is certainly up there, or if not, the best of all time. If you look at finances, he's grossed over $1 billion. You look at his resume, who he's fought some of the very, very best people in his weight class. Canelo, Shane Mosley, Robert Guerrero, Pacquiao, obviously you had Conor McGregor, and the list goes on. He's beat so many people, he's done it over 4 different weight classes, and he's 50-0. So by rights, if you've got that experience, if you've got that amount of success, he's now older, so surely he should be allowed to call the shots. And so what if he's going after easy money? Fucking fair play. If you're in business, isn't it about going out there and trying to get the easy wins? If you had an opportunity earning so much money and it was an easy win, or a fraction of money, or let's say equal amount of money, but it's going to be harder, which one would you choose? He's already done the whole building his profile. He's already done the very tough fights. He's already put blood, sweat and tears into his craft. He lives by the whole ethos of hard work, dedication. Why can't he start looking at these other fights, which are not, in my mind, so much of a fight, but more of just a bit of entertainment. So for me, it's not about ruining his reputation. It's not about selling himself out. It's not about whether he needs the money or not. For me, he's making a good business decision, and why not? Why fucking not? I would certainly do that. You get entrepreneurs that start companies, scale companies, sell companies. They do it multiple times over. I'm meeting a chap tonight who is a board member of the Groucho Club in Soho, who has started companies, scale companies, sold companies, got 2 massive houses in London. He's been a part of some of the biggest brands in the world. And guess what? He now can go to different companies, consult, he can do speeches and warrants hundreds of thousands of pounds, if not millions, for his work. And he does probably a little amount of work. No one ridicules him. No one ridicules a footballer that goes over to China, for example. I remember when Didier Drogba left Chelsea and went, I think, to somewhere like China and was absolutely raking it in. Yes, it might be easier football for him, and it is not the type of game he's used to playing, but he's tapering off, and they're paying him more money to do it. So why not? So with someone like Floyd Mayweather, my hat's off to him. I think it's a very smart business move, and I don't think he needs to demonstrate that he's number one anymore. He's been there and done that. So part of the message is, that's his profession, that's his craft, and that's his business. As a business, what is the number one thing? Take away the sport, take away the endorsements, take away all that stuff. It's about making money, surely. Is it not about making money? So he's only going out there to make better business decisions to make more money. And you can say whatever you want about it, but the facts are, when he goes to bed at night, he's got to know that his business and he is performing and making money and still bringing in the money to support his lifestyle. So for me, it's a great move. And the other point I want to make is, isn't this quite exciting? You've got a non-boxer who's not even there was a big question mark over Conor McGregor. You had someone that never done boxing professionally, but fighting, let's say, arguably the very, very best boxer which has ever lived. And he went 10 rounds with him, okay? Lots of people were saying, oh, that shouldn't be a fight. And they had all this, in my opinion, bullshit comments and bullshit opinion about it. But now you've got someone that's not even from the fight game. Yeah, he's had 2 fights with KSI, but the reality is, I don't know whether you call him a YouTuber or whether you call him a public figure, but Logan Paul is stepping up and fighting Floyd Mayweather. Doesn't this demonstrate that we are in times where anything you put your mind to can fucking happen? Think about it. That should be testament to the fact that if you want to do something, no matter your race, no matter your age, no matter your credentials, no matter your qualifications, your education, no matter your experience, you can make something happen. This is exciting. You know, with Corona happening, with recessions happening, with doom and gloom, companies going under, unemployment going up, there is some magical moments being developed in 2020. Floyd Mayweather has not moaned about coronavirus and said that I can't make more money. Logan Paul hasn't moaned about it, and they're putting this fight together. So regardless whether you're into fighting or not, boxing or not, and whether you agree on that or not, one thing that we can all agree is it shows that opportunities can manifest out of almost nowhere, because I never saw that coming. And the great thing about it is, if you're aware of these opportunities and ready for the opportunities, my God. Like, if Logan Paul never took the fights with KSI and done it in 2 different places around the world to get the exposure out there and to get the case studies, Floyd Mayweather may have never looked at that, and they both may not be making the amount of money that they may be about to make in the next couple of months. I think it's really exciting. It's very, very similar to this whole Tyson and Roy Jones scenario. Again, it's a great business decision. And it's going to be entertaining. I'm going to watch both. I believe I know the outcome of pretty much both. Not guaranteed, but I believe in my heart I know what's going to happen. But either way, it's just interesting, isn't it? It just makes things really interesting, because if everything was by the book, if everything was vanilla, if everything was done textbook, it would be a bit of a boring planet, don't you agree? So I would like to hear from you. Put a comment, send a review on my YouTube, or send me a message and tell me what you think. But for me, it's about a business decision, making more money. It's about entertainment, and it's about making opportunities happen. Because remember, I've always said the same thing. You do one thing and it leads on to another. It dovetails. So KSI and Logan Paul, this is now dovetailed into Logan Paul fighting Floyd Mayweather, making a shit ton of money, and that will probably go into other stuff as well. Why wouldn't you just take the chance, no matter what people are saying? Let that sink in. Be happy, never content.